Good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well. And today we have episode 2 of Cigar Box Sundays. And this Sunday we have a true favourite of mine, and a cigar that, for the most part, kind of goes under the radar. It's not a massively popular size, and it's one that you used to be able to pick up with a few years of age on the box, but these days, of course, with shortages and supplies, that is not possible. And the cigar in question is the H. Upmann Majestic. This is a partial box of 25. In this particular box I picked it up in the end of 2019, but as you see, box code of March 19th. So as of filming, it's got a good amount of age in it. It's at the point of age where personally I find these type of cigars really come into their sweet spot, and that's why it's a partial box. Is for the last couple of years, once or twice a year, I'll pull one from the box to see how it's developing and how it's aged. So, as you can see, H. Upmann box, very classic dress box by H. Upmann, box of 25. And as you can see, price is €125. This box in particular I bought from the La Casa de Habano in Amsterdam when I was last there. Alright, open up the box. Again, H. Upmann I always find has really great artwork. There's your Habanos kind of guarantee. And here we have it. Great looking box with some really nice dark and oily wrappers, and as you can see, it's a partial box, so I've smoked maybe 3 or 4 since buying the box. Now, a bit of history about the cigar and a bit of facts. The Vitola is a cremas and it's part of the Corona family. It is a 40 ring gauge by 5.5 inches in length, and typically a lot of H. Upmanns are light to medium bodied in strength, and this one in particular falls into that category. A bit more information. Again, I try and make these as information as possible about the individual cigar. This is a pre-1960 release. It has only ever came in a dress box of 25. And the most interesting part of this cigar is that up until 2002, it was machine made and came in cellophane wrappers. Now, when it comes to machine made in Cuban cigars, that's not really a thing anymore. There are very, very select cigars that are made by Habanos that are machine made. Typically, it's your very, very low end cigars that they offer. That typically aren't the best quality. Very short, of course, short filler, but completely machine made. Whereas these cigars, of course, handmade. Again, being the box in 2019, they made the transition in 2002, and that's the same with a lot of cigars around that kind of same period that were machine made, that Habanos decided to keep in the portfolios. They've transitioned to being handmade, and of course that just means that all the cigars are of much better quality and are all long filler. I have actually smoked one of these that were in the cellophane wrappers. I smoked one that was from 1996. At the time, it was a good cigar, good flavour. Of course, the construction was okay, but that's because it's a machine made. At the time of smoking, it must have been at least maybe 14 or 15 years old. Well, when I smoked it, again, great flavour. Similar flavour profile to these, but these, of course, because they are handmade, hand rolled, not machine made, and they're long filler, the blend slightly changed, and it just made these much more of a premium cigar. And of course, being a dress box 25, below you can see you have the other layer of 12. 12 on the bottom, 13 on top. Now when it comes to purchasing this in the UK, unfortunately, as always with our cigar prices, a box of these days, I would have to double check, but I believe it's in the £300 mark, kind of £350, which is not an inexpensive box of cigars for something that, as you can see, I picked up back in 2019 for the best part of £105, £110. But if you are fortunate to be in Europe, for example, and come across these cigars, you will pay great prices, along with buying yourself a great box of cigars. I find these cigars age really well. As I said, I'm fortunate enough to have one from '96 when they were machine made in cellophane. That smokes fantastic. Of course, this box itself is 5 years old, and they're smoking fantastic. And I've also smoked a more fresh version of a vintage, let's say. I sampled one from a box from 2012, and that was last year, and again that was smoking really well. So I can kind of contest to the fact that these cigars age fantastically well. Of course, these cigars unfortunately are becoming slightly unpopular. They have been for many years, but more so in the last 5 or 6 years. Kind of this size of cigar is just not favoured. There are, of course, select people that do enjoy a smaller ring gauge. Personally, I enjoy most sizes. I'm not a fan of large ring gauge cigars. Kind of anything over a 54, I'm not really that bothered by. Kind of the sweet spot for me is a 44 to 52. That's my preference. My main preference being the 48. There's a lot of cigars that are in my wheelhouse that are in the 48 ring gauge that are fantastic, and that's the kind of my go-to size. But these here are right in there too. 40 ring gauge, 5.5, decent smoke time, 35 to 45 minutes, but you just get a lot of great flavour. So yeah, that being said, that rounds out episode 2 of Cigar Box Sundays. Like I said, this is a series I hope to continue for a long time. That's a way to kind of go through my cigar collection / cellar, but exploring kind of for the people who come to my channel that are more interested in cigars, kind of going really in depth into each cigar, highlighting certain key information about each one. Now, as always, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to view this video. Hope you enjoyed it, kind of got some insight into the H. Upmann Majestic. And if you are fortunate enough to come across any of these, like I said, if you like your light to medium bodied cigars and prefer a slimmer ring gauge, this is fantastic, and to me is one of the best of the smaller ring gauged cigars. But yeah, that being said, hope everyone takes care. Have a great rest of your weekend. Cheers.